All right. Hello, it's good to see everybody here today. And I know that some people are eating lunch right now, which is fine. You can continue to eat. And this meeting is actually particularly important because I think that with our first micro theme of learning power, what ended up happening was at the very end of the module, I had said, read the essay prompt, and then some people did and some people didn't, and then by Monday you had a pre-writing on it due, and so that caused a little bit of worry and angst about the whole essay. So this time I want to be proactive about it. So there have already been some questions about the essay prompt, and so I wanted to share with you and talk to you about that, and then also answer any questions that you might have. Does that work out for everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so the second full essay was on the Microtheme learning power. This next essay is on the Wired West. And I'm going to read the overview because everybody may not be able to see it. I do want to tell you that it is already located in the module itself, and you can already take a look at it and get prepared. But I will talk about it more. I'll probably be sending out announcements, just reminding you. So we are living in the midst of a technological revolution. What does that mean for us? So how can we connect with people and have access to information that has changed drastically, some for the better and some for the worst? The authors we have read have begun to really inquire about how our lives have been altered, because most of us have lived a significant portion of our lives with smart technology. Let's try to think about what life might be without it. And the reason why I'm encouraging you to think about that is that if you think about how your life is different without it, it might help you to understand what it adds to our lives. So for example, I have a 17-year-old child, and 17 is actually probably closer to your ages, and I'm calling her a child because she's mine, but she's not that eager to drive. And I remember at the age of 16 that I could not wait to get my driver's license, and so could everybody that I knew wanted the driver's license. And the reason was that way we could get together with our friends, and actually physically getting together and hanging out was the big deal, whether you hung out at the mall or at an In-N-Out or at a sporting event or at the movies. Is that different for you?
For me, not exactly. I actually wanted my license right away. I didn't want having to deal with asking my parents all the time, can you take me here? Can you take me there? Having to worry about being picked up. I mean, I'm only 20 years old, but I got my license at 15.
You were ready to go. What about
I was
you?
ready to go. I got my first car at 16. Ever since then, I'm pretty independent of myself, and I always just wanted to get going on my own.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, so I think I was 16 when I started driving, so I was more eager to get it too. I was like, I wanted to get my license because I wanted that freedom of getting away, because I had a car already, and I just need the license to drive it.
Right.
But I had cell phones back then too, so it wasn't. But I didn't care too much for the cell phones. I wanted my license instead. So.
Okay. What about your friends? Are you the one who picks them all up a lot all the time, or?
Yes. Yeah. I was the one that picked up a lot of my friends up because I was the only one that had a car at that time. So
okay.
That was the easy way to hang out and everything all together.
What about you, Sarah?
Same. I was considered the oldest one, or the carpooler of the person. I would always offer to pick up because I was the cool person with the car. So yeah, I guess I would say same thing. Always person with the car, always the go-to call person for a ride. So yeah, basically the same thing. Just always wanted to go out and be with friends, exactly how you were saying, just to even go out to eat or just go to the mall. It was always just wanting to having that freedom for yourself.
So what about how you connect with your friends? When you're with them, are they often on social media or often trying to take selfies, or is that not the center of what you do?
I mean, once, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Once in a while, yeah, but I mean, I make fun of my friends, say if we're all eating, and I'll say if we're on our phones, I feel like, oh yeah, guys, great time, good talk, and I'll make fun of them, and then they'll realize it, and then they'll put their phones down. But yeah, we'll take photos, like group photos together, like to like have the moment. But I pick on my friends a lot when we're eating to put their phones down.
Okay, so it is an issue. It may not be you with the issue, but
Oh no, not for me. I prefer to be off my phone when I'm with my friends. So we planned this for a reason. Why are we going to be on our phones when I could just text you when I'm home?
right, right. What about you, Bonnie?
I agree. The same thing what she says. When I'm out with our friends, I try to tell our friends like, hey, we're out here. Let's not be on our phones. I mean, if we need to take a picture for Instagram and Facebook or Snapchat, like the picture of the food, it's totally fine because that's what people like to do. But most of the time, we try to put our phone like when me and my girlfriend go out and eat, we don't touch our phone. It's just between us, so we're just sitting and having their conversation, and we avoid going on social media.
Sorry, that's my dog. You can go ahead. Somebody came to our door. So go ahead. Hi, first, Kevin has joined us.
Oh, hi,
and then,
hey, how you doing?
And then, hi, Kevin. And then somebody else joined us, but I can't tell who you are because it's in the shadows. Can you share who you are? Oh, hi, Marisol. Okay, now I can see you. Okay. So what we're doing right now is we are chatting about the essay prompt. I took a moment to share that I think that in the second module at the end, I asked you to read the essay prompt, and I think that if you didn't read it right away, it caused an issue for the following week. So I'm trying to be a little bit more proactive with that so that when you get started with this essay prompt, you'll be set and ready to go, and Monday night won't come so quickly. And so I've been asking, we're talking about the Wild Wired West, and I was reading the overview about how life might be differently without a smartphone. And so Bonnie and Sarah have been talking about their experiences, and we'll add you all in. I'm going to go on to the next question. How do you think that we might socialize with our friends and family differently if we didn't have the devices that we do, for positive or negative?
I'm not sure who's going to go first, but I'll just say that, like, for me, for me, it's more positive because a lot of my family has traveled, I'd say. So I always prefer to have, like if we're, like, eating together, it's, like, a positive thing to actually hear about other places that I haven't gone personally, and I love to hear their experiences. So to me, it's more on a positive note. I get to kind of, like, visualize myself from where they're at. So I prefer to be positive. I've never really had negative problems with my background. Mostly positive, just talking about other areas I've never been to.
Okay. All right. Anybody else about how might we socialize with our friends and family differently without the devices that we have?
Mm-hmm. Well, I know I use Facebook. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
Kevin.
Yeah, I use Facebook only, actually, just to correspond with my family, who are actually out in Texas, and they moved from here. And that's about it. I mean, I have a few friends in the friends list, but, I really don't go in there often. I'm old school, so I like to actually talk to them. I still send cards and letters. I still do the old stuff just to kind of familiarize myself. I understand the convenience, but sometimes, with the breach of securities and all the other things that we're going through right now, I'm just like really unsure at this point now. So I'm a little unsettled by that, but the good positive side is the convenience, and the expedient nature of it,
Right.
So I think that's the high, I believe, is that you can get it like that. But that's negative. I think I said both negative and positive.
And that's okay. That's all right. And would somebody else like to share? Did you want to share, Marisol or Vaughn?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think a positive thing is, like, for example, my brother, my sister, and my mom are my only living immediate relatives, and they live like maybe a half an hour away, but because they have small children and my kids are older, we don't get to see each other as often. So via Facebook or Instagram is great because they get to see their kids and they get to see mine. But so that's a positive. But the negative is that I don't it because we see each other like that, it doesn't we take advantage that we're seeing each other online and we don't make effort to see each other in person. So like I just saw my mom and my brother on Sunday and I hadn't seen them in maybe 2 months, and it was like a feeling like, oh my God, I miss them. So that would be my positive and negative.
You know, I have a question to Marisol.
Yes.
Do you miss actually touching, hugging, holding, kissing? I mean, isn't that one thing that you kind of miss out on?
For sure. That's why I'm saying it's a negative, right?
Yeah, that's double negative.
Yeah, I think the idea of the physical contact
Mm-hmm.
is so important, right? And I'm glad you brought that up, Kevin. In fact, that's even another option for an essay prompt, is that it's great to be able to connect virtually, right? But there is something to be said about connecting right in front of the person.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Bonnie.
Oh, I think it's a positive because I mean I grew up without like our cell phone or our parents. My parents didn't even know how to use an iPhone until like maybe like a year ago. So, but most of the time when we have dinner, we just sit and all of us just talk about family. Because I grew up in a big family, so we really never sat and with our phones or anything. We actually just sit and talk and eat dinner together all the time.
Maybe that's why you would want. Oh, hi! I see Lucy here too.
Hello.
Hi, it's good to see you. I want to make sure. And Sarah, you're still here, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I might have accidentally. Okay, hopefully you're not on mute. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can. I was just letting everyone else go.
Okay, Marisol, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I thought I felt like I was pressing the mute button, but I was just hovering over it. Okay. So I think maybe that's one reason why you wanted to drive, Bonnie, if I could look back. And, family didn't have it. And so there, where it was a regular thing. Not that you didn't have it, but your family didn't. And so, yeah, getting out made a difference. Lucy, what we are doing is we're talking about the essay number 3 prompt. I haven't even shared the prompt yet.
Okay.
This is just an overview of things for you to look at, to think about how our life has been altered with really the advent of the internet as number 1. The internet's the first thing, but the other thing is the advent of Web 2.0, which took place in 2006 with the smart devices. And I didn't have those smart devices right away. I don't know how many people did have them right away, but I definitely have it now, and it has changed my life for both the better and the worst. So now, has anyone listened to my Flipgrid video yet? Because I challenge you to do that, because I have my little bad habit that I do that I'm trying to break.
Honestly, not yet.
Not yet. So make sure you go on and do that, and make sure you listen to Marisol's. And I want to challenge you to get on the Flipgrid. It'll take you all of 2 or 3 minutes, because that's a way where you can listen to people and not feel like we're alone in the class.
Okay.
So
the Flipgrid has its own app?
It does. It's the Flipgrid, yes, has its own app.
Okay.
So
I wasn't sure if I was going to be on campus or not.
No, well, the code and the password are on Canvas.
Yeah, I saw that, but I couldn't find the link to it, so I was like, I wonder if it has its own app.
No link. You just have to download the app. Okay. So this is actually our prompt, okay, where this is a problem solution paper. Identify a major problem with our connection to our devices. It can be based on an aspect of social media, the internet, or our use of technology, which, so it's open. And I'm asking you to clearly identify a problem and propose a solution. And I, this weekend, created 2 videos. One video, which I'm going to include in our little announcement when I showcase this video for you all. One is about composing a problem solution video. The other is about expanding the essay, because I know that a lot of you talked about going, oh my gosh, it was so hard to get to 1,250 words, which that's about a 5-page essay. This particular essay is 1,500 words, which is approximately 6 pages plus a works cited. And so I put together another video about expanding the writing, ideas for how to expand. So I will be sharing both of those.
Okay.
I also noticed too that some students had issues with making sure that a visual was included. And I want to make sure that this time that a visual is. And the reason why I ask people to include a visual is because we are living in a multimodal textual world, meaning that the text that we read usually has multiple modes. A single mode would be text only. Making it multimodal would include a visual of some sort, which could be still or video. It could include something that you listen to, but usually it's something visual that we include. And so I'm asking you to do that. So for example, just even my essay prompt is a multimodal text, because I have here a visual, and then I have also included a link to a video that you can all watch about it. So I also want to encourage you that to make sure that you are giving yourselves time to really think and talk about the text that we're reading. Those texts are meant to challenge you to think about this in a deeper way. And in the short text 2.3 discussion forum, that is that opportunity for you to interact with one another. And I want to encourage you that if you want to respond using a video or voice, you can do that as well. So it doesn't just have to be a textual response. So I am now going to ask you, did any of you with the last essay, I had to do all these pre-writing options. Does anyone have any questions about the pre-writing strategies at all?
No, I was pretty comfortable with the pre-writing itself.
I'm good.
Was there one that helped you more than the others?
For the most part, the sketching it out, because then when I actually sat down and put together what paragraph would go where, and then once I put together my quotes from our text and like deciding when this quote would be best be used, how to explain it, and then my next one, how basically just sketching it my plan, that really helped me.
That's good. And I want to share with you, Sarah, that sometimes sketching a plan can be really like formal, you know, like as in an outline, and sometimes it can be sort of generic. So for you, I recommend, because this essay prompt says that you need to choose at least 2, that you stick with sketching a plan. Not every single pre-writing option is going to be useful for every single essay all the time, but I just wanted to give you some ideas about suggestions. And really what you're doing in this 2-week module with 3A is that this whole 2 weeks is really pre-writing for you, because you're reading the texts and you're interacting with your peers and you are digging deeply into those texts in hopefully a meaningful way. So
I also wanted to mention about the summaries.
yes.
That was a very good exercise, because I had a hard time with, trying to write the summaries just before I start my papers. But the questions that you've given out and how the formula at the bottom, and when you put everything together, it was really incredible how it sounded after I did the exercise that you provided.
So let me ask Kevin, because I took it out of this module.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I took it out of this module is because I received so few essays after putting that in that I felt like I scared people away. And so do you have any suggestions about how to maybe put that back in so that we could do that exercise again, but not scare
less technical? Possibly, not off the top of my head, but I could probably come up with something.
If you could, and share that with, I'm so glad to hear that. I was so sad. I was like, oh my gosh, I scared most of my.
Not me. I was like, when everything, you know, I put all the sentences together based on how you crafted it out, and it plus this plus that equals. I'm like, and then when I read it, I was like, wow.
This is.
I changed and tweaked it a little bit here and there, but for the most part, it was very helpful.
Well, I'm wondering if
for me to understand it, though.
Right. I'm wondering if, there's got to be a way to have you do that and not scare so many people away. So if you do have ideas, or if anyone else has any ideas, I would really appreciate that.
I'll see what I can do.
So, all right. Does anyone else have any questions or want to share anything that has been positive or where you could use a little bit more help?
That was mine.
I just had a quick question about the works cited page.
Yes.
For this particular essay, do we need the works cited just only for when we're using the text from the Rereading America?
I am so glad you asked that. I always want you to, and if you look at the parameters, it talks about, well, you can't. I apologize, Sarah, you're like asking, and I'm like, if you look at it, it's here, but no, you can't see it. Anyway, yes, you are going to do an MLA works cited, even if all you use are the two texts from, a couple of texts from Rereading America, 3, 4, 1, whatever it is, and the visual. I always have students create a works cited because I think it's good practice. I will tell you, however, you probably are going to need some additional sources. And the reason for that is that you are not focusing in, like the last time you focused in on the authors and you had to choose two and discuss those, the obstacle. This time what you're doing is you are choosing a topic, and what you're doing with the topic is that you are going to then use at least one of the texts from Rereading America, and then you may need to do some additional research. And one of the things that I want to point out is that because this topic is really about current, relevant facts, that really by the time something gets published in Rereading America, this particular topic is kind of old, So yes, the short answer is yes, you will always need a works cited no matter what. The long answer is you will be using something from Rereading America plus something else.
Okay, sounds good. And just to make sure, when we do the works cited for the Rereading America, do you want us to cite the book itself for Rereading America, or just the text that we use from, like for the Wild Wild West? Okay,
so you have a writer's reference, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the MLA section, and I'm going to grab mine, but this might be an older one, because I have like 4 or 5 of these sitting around here. I'm going to grab mine, and in a writer's reference in the MLA section, there is going to be a source that you are going to choose, or a sample that you will copy, that is called Citing a Text Within an Anthology. And I was trying to look and see if I could find it quickly. Usually somewhere in the 40s, not the page 40, but like there's all these numbers of different sources. Okay, here it is. let's see. Oh, it's called One Selection from an Anthology or a Collection. In this particular one that I have right here, which I have it up here, it's number 35, but I somehow think it's a little bit later than that, a more updated version. But what you're doing is you are choosing a selection from an anthology. So every single text you cite, you will have the author, such as Turkle or Seif, etc. You will have them, the title of the text, and then you will have the title of the anthology and who the editors are. Because the texts that you are reading are not written by the editor, but they are organized by the editor. Okay?
Right.
An exception to that rule, which is not exactly an exception, but let's say you were going to cite something from the introduction, okay? And so the author of that is the author of Rereading America, okay? So then you would cite it as the entire book.
And you said that was point 33, correct?
It was number 35 in my version.
But it's two or more selections from an anthology or a collection, correct?
Yeah, it's actually one selection from an anthology or collection.
Okay.
And then the beginning will be different, and the ending part will continue to be the same because it's all from Rereading America. So it's like a little puzzle. I always think of MLA as a puzzle, and they keep updating the puzzle rules, especially because of the technology. But the example is always extremely helpful, super helpful. And so I always start there, and then if I can't figure out what they're showing me, I look elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. And the same goes for images, correct? We just refer to our book and go on.
Yeah, well, in the book there's a whole aspect for websites.
Okay.
There's part for a visual.
Mm-hmm.
You could even use a film. And I actually have a handout called Integrating Sources.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I call it Integrating Visuals. Mm-hmm. And if I remember when I send you this announcement with this video and the other two videos I talked about, I will try to link it there too.
Okay.
It's always
I had some issues, some problems with it the last time I did it. I was reading from so many different,
Well, yeah, I know. And
samples, and I think I had that one just about wrong, I think.
But Kevin, I will tell you that I see this class as an opportunity for you to try and for you to fail, and for me to say, okay, the way you do it next time is, because that's how you learn. So I'm less concerned with you getting things 100% right. I'm more concerned about you being willing to take this chance and use the writing opportunities to really take risks. That's what I'm looking for. I want you to take a risk, because in the end, that's what I'm looking for. So you get something slightly wrong, big deal, right? I'm more interested in your deep critical thinking.
Okay.
Right? So that's really what I can't say that for every teacher. Some teachers are very nitpicky. I try to be helpful with that, but I'm looking more to see your personal growth in your writing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And like you said before, we're choosing two stories that kind of match together for this essay, right?
Well,
that are kind of similar.
That's the first essay.
Oh,
that's the first essay. I'm talking about essay number 3. Excuse me, the second essay. This is essay number 3, The Wild Wired West. The Wild Wired West is asking you to identify a problem with connection to our devices, and then come up with a solution. And
it's like the videos that you posted from, kind of like related to that, of how social media or devices can be helpful, but at the same time they're not that helpful.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. I try to connect it all in. That's what I hope that you're finding it to be useful. I'm really working hard on that arena. So
yeah, I watched all the videos and they seemed very interesting. It's just a lot of them proved their points, and then a lot of them kind of contradicted themselves. But
right, and that's okay too. That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions or thoughts? Or I hope this was useful. Is this time a bad time to do this?
For me, it kind of is because I have class right now at 3. So I just got to campus like not that long ago.
Right. Okay. Well, we'd always be a half an hour. Is Friday better, or is
Friday?
Wednesday?
Yeah, Friday is better because I have class Monday through Thursday.
Okay. For everybody, does Friday work?
Sure.
For the essay?
Yes. Well, just for meeting on Zoom. I'm just
meeting, Zoom meeting. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Friday is good.
Okay. So what I'm probably going to do then is I will offer a Zoom meeting for this Friday. And between now and then, if you would like to think about something interesting that we could do together as a group, send me an email. And because I'm trying to think about maybe by Friday, we can play a little bit more with this essay prompt and maybe work together to help propel you further. Okay, so if you have any ideas like, hey, let's talk about this, or let's really do a close reading of this particular article, or, and rereading America, etc.
Okay.
So if you have an idea for that, please let me know. Send me an email. And I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
It's always good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Take care. You have a wonderful day.
Same to you.
You too.
You too.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Now I'm ending the meeting. Take care.
Bye-bye.